to another fantastic episode of Dire Bear Adventuring Company. Tonight we are going to be on our Wednesday night showcase, featuring a brand new system that none of us have ever played before called Icons. Well, none of us have ever played before. Jason has played it because he's going to be our DM. But those of us who are playing, we've never played. So we are here to stream Session 0. If you have ever had any questions about character creation, when it comes to icons, this is where you're going to get them answered. So, before we start, we would like to thank our sponsors, as always, D&D Beyond, that is D, the letter N, D, Beyond.com, where you are able to find all sorts of fun and interesting information there on the site to do with D&D 5e. We'd also like to thank Lucky Dice Cafe and Station Retro, both found in Huntsville, Alabama. If you are looking for a live game, you should head on out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to the two locations. Our DM, Captain Sack, is there in person on those days. So tonight, we'll introduce Jason as our DM, who is currently below me on our overlay. As well as Valen, who will be playing Lord knows what. It'll be interesting to find out after we've rolled it up. We also have a couple new players with us here for the Wednesday night showcase. On cam with us, we have Daniel. If you are in our Discord, you will see that his name is Fringecore. And we have Seb, who is not joining us on cam, but is with us here in voice, who is Seb on Discord. We will be having a gentleman named Jeremy called Decavolti on Discord joining us here as soon as he gets home. He is on his way, but that isn't going to stop us from starting up our characters, because there's plenty of characters to make before Decavolti joins us. So Jason, can you give us a little rundown about what Icons is all about so that our players and our viewers know what we're getting into?
Alright, Icons was written by Steve Kinson. If you keep up with game developers, he's also the man that wrote the rules for Mutants and Masterminds. The old Aberrant game he was involved in. He's also involved in the one currently being kickstarted. So he's got some credentials. Icons is basically his more rules light super system. It's based somewhat off of Fudge or Fate, or at least there's a lot of similarities. Everything is on, all your stats and so forth are on a 1 to 10 scale. The basic mechanic, you roll 1d6, you add the appropriate stat. You have what they call specialties, which are basically your skills. They come in 3 ranks. Each one just bumps the number you add to your die roll up by 1. As the GM, I will roll a dice, adding whatever difficulty number goes on it. And, if you beat my roll, then you've succeeded. If I roll higher, of course, you fail. So the base mechanics are very simple. Now, one thing that it does have that some of my players, and truthfully me running it, had the most trouble getting used to are the qualities. The qualities would be things like if you were statting up Batman, World's Greatest Detective. Master Martial Artist might be one you'd give him. I would say Loner, but he's always got 50-11 sidekicks. But anyway. And I forget, they're not called qualities in Fate. They're called something else. But it's essentially the same thing. You have so many determination points. You spend your determination points by tapping one of your qualities. You can, in the course of a fight, have extra qualities put on you. You can put qualities on other people. You can try to figure out what their qualities are to use them against you. Or use them against them. So, for example, if you were playing a martial artist, a staff fighter, you're fighting somebody that's invulnerable. You're not going to be able to do damage to them. You might still be able to use that same skill to trip them up, knock them off balance, make it easier for your heavy hitters to get them. Things like that. Any of you have ever played Fate, you'll catch up on that pretty quick. Let's see, your health is your stamina. That pretty much works like hit points and everything else. And that's really the base mechanic to everything. I mean, you've got things like knockback and so forth. We'll cover those kind of as they come up, the first time y'all have a fight. Anybody got any questions at this point?
No.
Not at this time.
All right. Let's see. Like I said, all your stats are on a 1 to 10 scale. The difficulties are on a 1 to 10 scale. Things like material strength to bust through things. They pretty much fit everything on a 1 to 10 scale. So there's not a huge amount of variance sometimes. Even if you roll somebody that's perfectly normal, or for a comic book perfectly normal, that does not mean that you're going to end up being useless. Think of it like if you ever watched the old Justice League cartoon. Superman was stouter than everybody else, but a couple of villains could still, any couple of villains still tended to give him a little bit of trouble. As opposed to the comics where, he'd be completely invulnerable to a bunch of the Batman villains. While there is a point buy system that it works okay. But the main system is the kind of semi-random one. This game is kind of a love song that he wrote to the old TSR Marvel game, if you ever played that back in the day. And, well, I don't know if any of y'all are old enough. Never mind, I don't impress myself. But it had random character creation, which is kind of where this comes from. And while you'll be rolling, there are lots of instances where you'll be able to swap a stat, or if you roll a power at rank 1, you can sack that power to add an extra to another power. So, if you have insect control at rank 1, and you go, screw that, I'm going to put flight on my fire control. So, there's lots of ways that you can adjust it as we go, so you don't wind up, useless or just something completely powers that are completely incompatible.
All right.
Let's see. Pyramid tests we'll go into when that comes up.
I rolled up a sample character. Should I go with that, or should I roll up another? Would you like me to share you in on that character?
Let's go ahead and just create them all on stream. I mean, if you've gone through the character creation, that helps. Does everybody have access to the book?
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't, just scroll up a bit in the chat. It was posted just underneath the Roll20 link, but I have now just pinned it, so you should be able to access it there, guys. Well, in that case, who would like to start?
How about the one who's already done it, so we can see how it's done?
Yeah. That might
No. Everybody will be doing this all together.
Okay.
All right.
What we will roll first is your origin. Phase 1 is your origin.
Okay.
The origins are trained, transformed, birthright, gimmick, artificial, and unearthly. Trained's pretty self-explanatory. Transformed would be your Spider-Man, Fantastic Four types. Birthright would be your mutants, your Inhumans, Atlanteans, anything like that. Anything that, you were basically born that way. Gimmick is, of course, devices, Iron Man,
Batman.
Arguably Batman, but he'd also fit under training.
It's true.
Now,
Yeah.
anybody can take a power as a gimmick, though. Anybody can take powers as devices.
Okay.
Let's see. Artificial is things like robots, golems, the Vision. Unearthly can be things like
Starfire, right?
uh
Maybe.
she could also be transformed because not all of her people can do what she does. She was
That's
experimented on.
What a. Oh, that's true.
Thor would be unearthly.
Okay.
Each of these origins gives you some way to tweak the character. An extra power, add 2 to a stat, add 2 to a power rank. Unearthly gives you a couple of options. You can add. Let's see, what is it? 2. You can add plus 2 to 2 of your attributes, or you can roll on the origin chart twice and take both origins.
All right. Well, let's find
So
out
for this chart, everybody needs to roll me 2d6. So everybody, I've lost count of how many people we have. Let's see.
I believe that's everybody that is currently here.
All right.
Yes. We got the biggest numbers are 7.
No, there's an 8. There's an 8.
Yeah,
We
there's
got
an eight.
somebody here with a gimmick.
Oh, now
Yeah.
I see it. I didn't even see. Okay.
Somebody here with a
I
gimmick.
was
Okay,
like-
so
I thought that was a 2 for some reason. It's like, oh.
and if any of you do not have your character sheet in your journal, let me know. Because let's see here.
Yes, the only person who hasn't rolled is the person who hasn't joined us yet because he is currently on his way home. He will
He's on
hopefully
his way
be
home?
joining us as soon as possible.
Mhm. But on your sheet, you'll see where the origin is. There's a pull down menu. So anyway, with a 7, I believe it was, Maddie, you have a birthright. Born with the destiny to develop superhuman powers. You gain your choice of 1 additional power, which should be innate, not a device, or plus 2 on a rolled power of your choice.
Okay, can I hold
So-
on to this so that I can see what else I've got?
Yes, absolutely. You can hang on to this to the very end if you want to.
Excellent. That is what I'm going to do. For now.
All right. Fringe Core.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, what was your actual name? If you're going
Daniel.
Daniel, okay. It may take me a session or 2 to remember, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
All right, so Daniel with a 6 is transformed. You were a normal human. You became superhuman through some outside agency, often an accident or experiment. One of your character's abilities of your choice, and abilities can include attributes or powers, is increased by plus 2 to a maximum of 10.
All right.
Everything with these pluses will be a maximum of 10. You can't go above 10. The mighty Rays. Ray got an 8. That is gimmick. Let's see. All your powers will come from devices of some kind. One of the character's mental attributes of your choice is increased by 2 to a maximum of 10. And of course, it should be obvious when you look on the stats, but the mental attributes are intelligence, awareness, and willpower. The physical stats are prowess, coordination, and strength. V. You too are a birthright.
Yep.
I won't bother to read that out again.
Yep.
4. Seb, you are trained. Your hero is a highly skilled individual. Any powers actually come from superior training or specialized equipment. The character gains 2 additional specialties, which are basically your skills, and can choose to trade a power for 2 more specialties. Oh, Ray does not see a sheep. I thought I had.
V, we're only at the first section. What do you mean you're already lost?
I'm working on it. I don't have a brain.
Do you not know where to put what our
No.
origin
I
is?
got
You
that.
find
That's
that
fine.
okay?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of it's all gonna make sense. It's okay. We'll get there. Just relax.
I'm in the same boat as V over here.
Okay, Mighty Ray, see if you can find your sheet now.
It'll be in your journal, Ray. Also, if you can check your connection to Zoom, all I've got is a gray screen.
That was intentional. I'm eating edamame. So
Okay.
I was just assuming that
No worries.
until I'm done eating edamame.
No worries.
All right, so everybody has jotted down their.
Yep.
Yep.
Now, why can I not get French course?
I got one. I got a character sheet.
You're looking for Ray's sheet, Jason?
I think it should be in his journal now.
Yep.
I had clicked on the wrong name, is why you couldn't see it before. All right. All right, that is phase 1. So everybody has their origin.
Mm-hmm.
Phase 2 is the attributes. Those, if you look on your sheet, you'll see is prowess, coordination, strength, intellect, awareness, and willpower. Prowess is basically kind of your fighting skill, your innate fighting skill. Specialties can add to it. Coordination is what you typically think of as dexterity. That tends to be ranged combat. Strength covers your strength and your constitution. You won't roll it for very many skills, but physical damage, if you punch somebody, is based on your strength, and your strength counts into your stamina. Intellect's pretty self-explanatory. Awareness is, your spot and so forth. Willpower, you would use to resist mental compulsions, powers. Willpower also tends to be your charisma. It tends to be your social stat. So if you're trying to intimidate somebody, it's willpower versus willpower. If someone's trying to manipulate you, it's your willpower to resist.
All right.
So there is the level determination chart. You will roll for each of these stats. Let's see. And when all is said and done, you can swap any 2 stats with each other.
Okay.
So
One
this
at
is
a
another
time?
one that let's pick one of you and do these one at a time so we don't get completely confused over here in the roller. So we'll start with Maddie, since I see her at the top of my Zoom screen that I'm looking at. All right, so a 4, that gives you a prowess of 3.
Okay.
5 gives you a. Okay, you're getting along pretty good. The 10 will give you a 6.
Oof.
That's a little low.
I mean, it is, but it also really fits with what V and I were talking about, so. I'm good.
All right. So Maddie came out with a prowess of 3, a coordination of 4, strength of 6, an intellect of 2, an awareness of 5, and a willpower of 5. She's not Superman, but that is not bad at all. Everything she's got would fall under human. The strength of 6 is max for human. Anything 7 or higher is considered superhuman, and counts as a power for determining determination. We'll get into that later. Let's see. Where's the benchmarks? I want to say it's either 2 or 3. That's average human. So, all right. V.
Yay. Okay. 2d6.
All right, so that's a 5 for your first one.
Okay. Ooh.
That is a 6.
Ooh. Ah.
That's a 2.
Squishy.
Listen, I don't have to do the heavy lifting. Leave me alone.
That's a 3. And that's another 6.
And that one.
Holy shit, we did
Five.
it.
Hey, which
We
is
did
a
it.
5.
By the way, by complete happenstance, we just rolled Thor and Loki.
Whoops.
Oops.
God help us.
God help me.
And like I said, you can swap into stats if you want to later.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Daniel.
Mm-hmm. Let's get it rolling. Let's start with prowess.
It's a 5.
I'm just writing that down. Next one. Another 5.
Also a 5.
Jesus.
Also a 5.
Is my dice broken?
All right,
I
roll
mean,
20.
this is. I feel like this isn't a bad thing. If he gets another 7. Well,
A 6,
no.
which is a 4, which comes out to a 4.
Okay.
And a 4.
Oh, we keeping it.
Roll 20 is having one of its episodes.
There we go. Oh, that's another 5.
Let's see. Yes, that's another 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that should be all of them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Well, not much to swap there.
No, and you're like really superhuman. I forget which origin did you get?
I got transformed, so I got transformed into something.
Your pinnacle, the perfect man.
Oh boy. Am I Mr. Adam or whatever that guy is from
Captain America.
I don't know about Captain America, but that might be it.
It's true.
Yeah,
Decent
7
roll.
is. All right. The Mighty Ray. Let's see how mighty you turn out to be.
Oh, Decca's here.
Oh, yes. Excellent.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Decca.
Hi, how's my sound?
Good. Are you at home?
Yes, I'm at adventure.
Okay, the 5 would be a 4. Ooh, the 2 that gives you a stat of 1.
Oof.
9 gives you a 6.
Ray, you gotta roll 3 more times, my dear.
Did we lose him?
I don't know. You still with us, Ray?
Oh, now he's moving again.
All right, the 7 will give you a 5, and the 6 will give you a 4.
Hey!
And that gives you an 8. And 8, by the way, is as high as you get on this chart.
That's great.
He's the one who got the one with all the like gimmicks too, isn't it? That's gonna be interesting. Got some strong willpower.
Alright, Seb.
Yeah, and given that I can switch too, I might give that 8 to intellect and totally be an inventor.
So my turn to roll, you said?
Yep. There you go.
All right, so that's a 4. That is a 5. So that's also a 5. So that gives you a 2. And a 5.
Ooh,
That gives you a 7.
there we go.
That's
it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that should be all of them.
How's it every time I roll? My intelligence is always the lowest thing.
I don't know. I could not tell you.
When he rolls what now?
The 2 was my
Intellect, right?
yeah.
Just not a smart man, I guess. Sorry.
2 or
Sorry.
3. 2 or 3 is average-ish.
All right, and we just have to do
Shall we
Deca
get
stuff.
Deca caught up then? Deca.
Yes. Deca, are you? Is he?
I am on the roll 20. Yes.
Oh,
Hi.
let me get you a character sheet.
Woo!
While you're doing that, I'm gonna run and go grab myself a fresh drink.
Certainly.
So apparently, I'm above average human and exceptionally human. Exceptional. That's the word. Alright, so I'm transformed, so that means I get...
All right, Deca, can you see your sheet in your journal?
Let me keep that.
It was sick. Yep, there's my journal, and there's my sheet. I know how Roll20 works.
Excellent.
Now the question is if Roll20 wants to behave with you.
That's very true.
Alright,
All right. So what we have done so far
Bathroom. Be right back.
is roll your origin.
Uh-huh.
So give me a 2d6 roll.
Boy, my favorite. Yeah.
You are artificial.
Woo! I have a character for that already.
The character is a robot or some other kind of construct, such as a golem. The character's strength is increased by 2 and
Okay.
has the life support power, in addition to any roll powers. Roll life support level normally, or trade a roll power to increase it to 10. Which with life support is basically, completely sealed systems. You don't eat, you don't breathe, you don't have to worry about space or radiation, background radiation, that kind of thing.
Is this powered by the Apocalypse game?
No.
Okay.
Icons is its own game, but based heavily, at least the base mechanic is based somewhat on Fudge or Fate.
Yeah. I had to ask because there was another game that was going around that was kind of similar.
Oh, okay.
It was Masks, I think. So whatever.
I know.
Oh, yes. And now your stats.
All right. What am I doing?
That is also a 2d6 roll.
How many 2d6s?
You have 6 stats.
So 6 2d6s.
There we go.
We'll do each one,
Yeah, just do it 2 by 2.
Yeah.
Okay. 1.
Oh, wow.
All right. The 11 will give you a 7 in your
How is that calculated?
There is a chart.
Okay.
If you look in the Wednesday night showcase in the pinned messages, Maddie's pinned it for the
Awesome.
so you can actually go in and look. If you'll want to go down to page
57.
57.
57. All right.
Yep.
Well, I will look at that as I roll. Next one. Okay.
That will give you a 4 in your coordination. That will also give you a 4 in your strength. That will give you a 1 in your intellect.
Oh God.
It's working. It's working just to the character I have made. So
Let's see. A 7 gives you a 5
okay.
in your
Am I
awareness.
missing one more?
One more.
Yes.
What is your willpower? That gives you a 6 in your willpower.
Maybe
Wow.
not smart, but very, very strong-willed.
All right. Give me just a moment. I'm gonna lower my AC a smidge, and we'll see.
Okay.
Just trying to reduce the fan background noise. That's all. Not that it's a big deal. If you can't, Becca, it's all good. Just trying to mitigate it a little bit.
Yeah, I pumped the air from my basement up into my room.
Alright, sorry. Being next to an air conditioner has advantages and disadvantages.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so all that's done.
All right. Now, if you pull up your character sheet, you'll see where it says origin. There's a drop-down menu where you can put your origin in.
Artificial.
Beep
Okay,
boop.
so
And then over under attributes is, of course, your prowess, your coordination, all the stuff you just rolled. Excuse me.
can I get the? Okay, can I get? Or is it going to automatically do the modifier as I add the numbers?
Yeah, just type in whatever number, type in the rank that you rolled.
So the number I roll is going to automatically.
No.
determine- That's what I'm asking.
The level I gave to you.
Yes. Okay.
So your prowess would be a 7.
7. Coordination was.
Then a 4. Your coordination would be a 4.
Yes. 4.
Your strength was also a 4.
Awesome. Intellect was a 1.
Your intelligence was a 1.
Huh?
Let's see. Then your awareness was a 5.
5. And then my willpower was
A 6.
a 6.
Yes.
Woo! I have
Now,
a character
being-
that I'm already making.
Now, as an artificial, your strength is increased by 2.
So
So
that's
you can retype
6.
that in, or there's a little arrows thing that'll come up when you.
Yeah. 6.
All right, that's got you caught up with everybody else.
Woo!
So is that everybody, or
Yes, I believe
Yes.
so.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
So now we move on to phase 3, powers.
Sorry, just a quick question about the attribute swap. We can only do it between 2, like one time?
Correct.
Okay,
You can
perfect.
pick any 2 of your attributes and swap them.
Okay. Okay.
Not now. You can wait till later to see how other stuff rolls out.
Okay. Perfect. And then, okay. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. So phase 3. First, we'll roll to see how many powers you get. This one is also a 2d6 roll, Maddie.
You got
We'll
it.
start with you. Phase 6. You have 3 powers.
Nice.
Be sure to jot that down somewhere.
Piece of paper right here.
I got a big piece of paper.
Oh, that would be smart, Jeremy. You play TTRPGs. You know how this works.
Come on
doing
now,
great.
Decca.
Daniel looks like he got the same kind of pad I've got. Did you buy them when they were on sale after the after school stuff?
Actually, I went to Ollie's. They sell a bunch of these, like, for $1.
Oh, it's one of those big yellow pads of paper. I love those.
I love those. I know me sitting here with my unnecessary book. 2d6?
2d6.
Heh.
Fuck you.
You have 4 powers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fuck you.
Boy.
Wait,
Well, Loki mostly just, all
Magic?
about illusions
Yes.
anyway. But Thor has got more lightning.
I know. I know. I'm aware.
All right, Daniel, give me a 2d6 roll. We'll see how many powers you get.
Knowing me, just going to be 2. Oh,
Ooh.
Ah.
You also have 4.
all right.
Ray,
Gonna look.
you also have 4.
4 squad.
Maddie,
Hell yeah.
Maddie may wind up being the run of the litter.
almost
All
spilled my
right.
water. God.
Seb, give me a roll. You also have 4 powers.
I'm
And
gonna get
Deka, give me a 2d6 roll.
Come on. 4 squad. Oh.
You have 3.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Though you also get the life support power for free with your origin, so there is
So he
that.
technically has.
I got 4 powers anyway.
Can we just-
However, if I recall, Maddie was a birthright, right?
Yes,
Yep.
actually. That's true. We are
That
birthrights.
gives you the option of either a bonus power or bumping one of your powers by 2 ranks.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna wind up doing it by 2, but we're gonna see what happens.
All right. Then we come to power type. They have the powers classified in different categories. You roll to see what category, and then you roll that category's chart to see what actual power you get.
Sure.
Oh.
I'm gonna do my 3 power types first, and then I will roll on their charts.
All right.
So first one is control.
A 5, that is control. 7 is offensive. And 7 is offensive.
Okay, so control. Do I just roll a d6
All right,
and
now-
then roll another d6?
Yes, you roll these 2 separately.
Okay.
So that gives you the 3 through 4 options. And which actual power do you wind up with? 4 is telekinesis.
Okay, so 4 on the offense table.
All right, so that's the lower category.
Okay.
And then roll another d6. Aura.
And I get strike.
And strike.
Okay. Next. Fucking
All right.
powers.
V.
Okay. So 2d6 first? And I have to do that 4 times?
Correct.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, you get an alteration power.
Okay.
So if you got your jot that down.
Yeah.
And then 2 6s, which are so you get 2 defensive powers,
Defense, okay.
and then 5 is a control power.
Control power. Okay. So alteration, I roll 1d6 first and then another d6, right? Okay.
Correct.
So 5. Okay. It's a lot of
That's it.
mimicry.
Oh, good
And
God.
then 1. Animal mimicry.
Animal mimicry.
Okay.
Time for a
I'm gonna
horse.
be a snake. I'm kidding. Sorry. Okay, the other one
Slippery as a
was
snake.
the defense. Okay.
And then you had 2 defense.
So 1, and then that's absorption.
Absorption.
And then 3 and 3. So life support.
Life support.
And then the last one was control powers.
Yes, I believe your last one was a control power.
So d6. It's a 2
That's a 2,
and a 2.
which is
Alteration. Ray.
alteration ray.
Huh.
And while we roll the next person, feel free, if you've got a copy of the book, feel free to be looking at the power stuff.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Where do I punch in this stuff? I know there's other powers, but like I got 4 powers. I increase a small number to 4, or
On the character sheet, you'll have under where it says powers, there's an add button
yep.
that will add you slots to put the stuff in.
Okay, thank you.
And for some reason, while I'm saying that, I'm adding slots to Deca's sheet for some reason. I don't know.
You just like looking at my sheet. It's okay.
Well, I got yours and Maddie's pulled up. Let's see. And then I lost row. Oh, yes. It was Daniel's turn.
All right. So I
You
got
also had 4 powers.
Yep. So let's start with the first one. It's alteration.
Yep, alteration.
Next one, mental.
Mental.
Next one, it's going to be defense.
And your final one?
Another alteration. So I'm definitely running a little more of a defensive build here. Well, at least mine games.
All right, so roll for your first alteration.
All right, so let's go to D1.
All right, the lower chart.
Then
You got stretching.
I'm a stretchy boy. Let me write that down. Okay. Mental. Actually, let's do the other alteration if that's okay. Might as well.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Might as well just get that out of the way. So 3, and then phasing,
Phasing.
which I'm going to have to look that up because I know a few different phasings. Let's go to mental next.
Okay.
So we got a 6.
So that's the lower half, and 5
Telepathy.
is telepathy.
Okay. Just and then finally defensive powers. So 1 and force field.
All right.
This is going to be an interesting thing. Here, let me stretch out force field.
Now back down.
Your
to the
body
Mighty Ray.
is the force.
All right, Mighty Ray, give me a 2d6 roll. Or you had 4 powers, right? So this would be there'd be 4 of them. So you get a movement power. Nobody's got one of those yet, and a
Woo!
sensory power. 7 is offensive, and 9 is alteration. So movement, sensory, offensive, and alteration, I think it was. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right, so let's find out what movement power you get. All right, now on these charts, you roll 1d6 and then another d6.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I just hit roll 2d6, but it's a 5 and a 4.
Oh, that's right. It does list them separate, so that doesn't really matter. Okay. Where was I? Movement power. So a 5 and a 4. Swinging. Now on the... Let's see, what was the other one? I wrote very sloppily. Sensory. All right. A 1 and a 5. Super senses. And super senses is one. I think there's several options within it that you can pick from. And then your offensive power. Say 5 and a 4. Energy drain. Let's see, alteration. Another 5 and a 4. Power mimicry.
Well, that sounds cool.
You may have just built Rogue from the X-Men with a swing line instead of her flight.
Nice.
That's actually kind of cool.
My regular game, one of the guys rolled Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
7 strength, so just into the superhuman, swinging, danger sense.
Oh
Then
my
for his bonus mutant power, he got dimensional travel.
So he was
Okay.
just all Spider-Man. It's
So
fine.
him and my buddy Todd start talking back and forth, and Todd's suggesting that he ties himself to a non-sea some kind of way, which gets Zach thinking. And he comes up with this whole realm of the creeping gods, where all these insect and arachnid gods live. His mutant power as a child activates. He teleports to that location. They look at him and go, "Oh, poor little hominid, so squishy and weak. Go fix him." So now he's a bug-eyed horror with all these extra powers.
Oh.
Yeah,
Big segmented, big insect segmented eyes, but each segment is an individual human eye.
wild. Yeah, I was thinking
That's not disturbing me at
Spider-Man.
all.
He's the face.
I was thinking
He was
Spider-Man
the
as
face of
well.
the team.
Because of the swinging and super senses, I was like, Spider-Man. But I guess it's cross between Spider-Man and Rogue, which is kind of neat.
Like I said, that's half the fun of the random is you having to find a way to fit it all together. And keep in mind, you can sack a power to take an extra on another power, which lets you tailor stuff. You got one power that's kind of an outlier that just doesn't fit with anything else. All right, let me see. I lost my place in the book. All right, so that was Ray. So we are to Seb, I believe.
Okay.
And did you have 3 powers or did you have 4?
I had 4.
Okay,
So 2d6 4 times.
correct.
I believe everyone has 4 except me and Rambo.
Yep,
Well,
yep.
you technically have 4.
So
Becca.
mental
True.
Yep, so that's mental,
alteration.
alt, movement,
I think that's another alteration.
and another alt. All right.
I'm helping him by typing them out.
All right, so give me. Let's see. What was that first one? How can I just write it down and then can't read what I wrote?
Isn't the first one mental?
Alt,
Yes.
move, alt,
Mental, alt, move, alt.
mental. That was supposed to be an M. Look at this other little leg. All right. I was trying to write it quickly while not looking at it. Not a good idea. All right, so roll. Let's see, so that's top. Astral projection. Let's see, then we're rolling the alt chart. 2. So upper part of the chart.
Alter ego.
Alter ego.
That sounds dangerous.
And then on movement, it's lower part of the spinning.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
There's nothing wrong with spinning.
Just feels like he's like Garen from
So-
League of Legends coming out of a bush spinning.
He's the Tasmanian devil.
Churrasco!
What was that, Maddie?
Alternatively, the Tasmanian devil.
That
That's-
works. I like that.
I will say I like that better than League of Legends.
All right, so with 3 on your alteration,
That's it. Yes.
and another 3 growth.
Definitely the Tasmanian devil.
Oh, that didn't save? What? Oh, there we go. Okay.
So did we already do one of his alternates? Yeah, that's where the alter
Yes.
ego came from. Okay. All right. Then we have Deca.
Ooh, it's my turn already.
It is your turn already. You were the one that had
2d6.
3, so give me 3
Yeah.
rolls of 2d6. All right, that's a movement. a control, and an offensive.
Ooh. Alright. And then... So, I'll say... Roll. Okay.
Right, so on the movement table, give me a roll.
So 1d6.
You can do the 1d6s individually, or you can just do 2d6 since the system will show me what the individual rolls were. All right, so let's lower movement power. You get wall crawling.
Wall crawling.
Wall crawling.
Okay.
Then you had
Control.
control. So give me
Another
roll.
2d6.
Yep.
There it is.
So a 3 and a 2. Energy control. Now I'm picturing him with
Okay.
electrical control, cleaning the walls with static cling.
Oh yeah, I'm working on it in my head already. Don't worry.
Offensive. Two and a 2. Binding.
Ooh, I got this. I'm literally making my fake character. It's amazing.
All right. Now we get to level determination, which is where you figure out at what level those powers are. It's the same chart we rolled for your stats.
Okay.
And so we will start with.
You got it.
So I guess we just need 3 rolls from you.
2d6.
Yes, yeah, just like with your attributes. So that's a 6 for your first power. A 5 for your second power. And a 6 for your third power.
Okay, I'll take it.
V, you're up.
Sorry, while we're just thinking about it, the birthright, it says I can take an additional power, so does that mean I could take an additional power from what we just did? Yes? Or
Yes, your additional power. I think you get to pick it. Let me see.
additional power? I was reading it and I wasn't sure if it was meant to roll or...
No, I think you would roll it.
Okay. So can I do that really quickly? Because I think I'm going to take an extra power.
Oh, sure.
I know. I should have said it earlier, but I didn't decide until later.
You're new. Hey, we're new to the system.
Yeah.
All right, so
That's movement.
yep.
And I'm just going to do the 2d6 again.
That's fine.
That's 1d6, it's fine!
Movement power is 1 and a 5. Leaping.
I gotta jump really high like Frogger. Okay, sorry.
All
Now,
right, so you've
2d6
got
for
5
one.
powers you got to roll on.
Yes. And
All
it's 2d6 for all of them?
Correct.
That's okay, that's the wrong thing, but I'll roll one more. So that's a
2d6.
5. Sorry.
That
5
gives you a
altogether.
4.
Okay.
Gives you a 4 for your first power.
Okay. Oof.
Bubba's joined us again. Sweet. 3, that gives you a rank of 2 in your second power.
Oof.
5. Rank of 5. And a rank of 4.
Okay, and last one. Oof.
That gives you a rank of 3.
Okay.
So if you decide that, like those 2 low-ranking ones, if you
Yes.
decide those might not be useful, you can always sack them to take an extra on another power.
Okay.
An extra essentially being another power, but it derives from kind of the primary. Like I used exactly, the Human Torch has fire control, but he would have the flight stunt or flight extra on his
Okay.
energy control.
Okay.
And the extra counts at the level of the base power. All right, Daniel, you also had 4 powers, I think.
Yep. All right. So let's start with stretching. So 2.
That gives you a 2.
I need to stretch this out because my that little arrow thing is in the way. More 2s.
That's another 2. That's a 3. And it gives you a 4.
Well, that was. Would have preferred all those 7s again.
Well, you've got some pretty good stats, so.
Yep. Well, at least I still have transform, so if I want to boost something.
Yes, that is true, too. All right. The Mighty Ray. All right, let's roll for your powers there, man. All right, gives you a rank of 2. That gives you a rank of 5, a rank of 8, and a rank of 1. So it was highs and lows. Out of curiosity, what power wound up at 8?
That's that energy drain. That energy drain is really nasty.
And which one got the 1? Or, yeah, which one got the 1?
Power mimic. So I might actually sack that for an extra. I'm going to look at how extras work.
Okay.
Because Power Mimic 1, I don't think does much for me. So
You can copy any power at 1 rank. So you can fly very, very slowly.
exactly.
Well, actually, I think you'd be flying at about walking speed then. So, useful tactically, but not to get across town.
Exactly.
All right, Seb, you're up.
Alrighty.
You had 4 powers?
Yes. And it's 2d6 right now. You right?
Correct. That give you a 5. That'll give you a 6. That gives you an 11. Oh, wait, I'm reading these backwards. I'm reading the chart backwards, sorry. 7 gives you a 5. I was looking at the rank 7 and then reading what you had for roll. I've been out in the sun all day. And that gives you a 5. So not bad there. Everything's pretty usable ranks. And Deca.
Question: am I rolling for my life support power too?
Yes, we will need to roll for your life support power.
Okay. That's a 1.
All right, that gives you a 5.
Okay. That's 2.
That gives you a 4. That gives you a 3. That gives you a 5.
That's all of them.
Is that all? Oh, that's right. You had 3 plus your life support. Okay.
Yes. I'm extremely life support.
Yeah. 8 and life support will give you a lot of options. All right. Phase 4 is specialties. Now, we can roll specialties, or you can choose them. Even in the quote-unquote random rolling, the specialties is kind of optional on that. So do y'all want to roll specialties, or do y'all want to pick skill that'll fit a little better?
I think rolling would be fun. But
You know
that's
what?
just
We've
me.
rolled everything else so far.
Sure. Why not?
Might as well.
Let's have some fun.
All right, first we roll for the number of specialties you get. So Maddie, give me a 2d6 roll. You get 1 specialty.
Oof.
Oof.
It's okay. It's okay. Everybody else will protect you. All right. B, give me a 2d6 roll.
Yeah. Two.
Let's see. Yes, you get 2 specialties. Daniel,
Roger that.
you
I get
also
2.
get 2. Ray, you
Ooh.
get 3.
Lucky duck.
Seb, you get 2. And Deca.
All right.
You get 3. All right. Let's see what specialty Maddie has. This one does, like on the power chart, does 1d6.
Wow.
Now that's just a selection chart. It's not that big a deal, high or low. That just means she gets the first power in the list, aerial combat.
Great.
I have a question.
Yes.
Don't I get an extra 2 specialties because I'm got trained?
Yes, that would add to your number.
Okay.
So you'd have however many you rolled plus 2. All right, V. Let's see what specialties you get.
Okay. My things are really laggy. 2 and 1. Investigation. Okay.
Okay, potentially useful. And for your second power or second specialty,
Ooh.
it is the
Weapons.
6 and 5.
Handed over.
You have somehow literally managed to roll Loki, and I hate you.
Uh-oh.
All right, that was your 2. Daniel,
Roger that. I get wrestling.
wrestling.
Nice.
That seems like a weird thing, but okay.
Well, it's grappling, so not that weird in a super setting.
True. And I get an investigation as well.
Let's see. Did you have 2 or did you have 3?
I had 2.
Okay. Ray was the first one that got 3. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ray, give us the rolls. All right, so that's 2 and 2. Investigation. I see I have a lot of investigators.
Hey, it's not always a bad thing.
It's turning into a tremulous.
4 and 1. Occult.
Turning into a tremulous game.
4 and 6. Power. Basically, you'll pick one of your powers, and you're better at using it. How many did we do? 1, 2. Okay, this is the third one. Okay. 5 and 4. Sleight of hand. You'll be great at children's parties.
And stealing from kids.
Well, more of the parents, but
Useful for
I know what
any
I said.
superhero, really.
Look, I don't need to be judged for stealing from kids, okay?
It's so much easier than studying from adults.
Exactly.
Sib, give me a roll.
Okay.
Don't judge my lollipop collection.
And it is 1.
You can roll 2d6 and we'll figure out the numbers. That's fine.
A 2 and a 1. Investigate. And now nothing mysterious will ever happen. 4 and 1. Occult.
And did I get?
Interesting.
Did I
You
get-
rolled 3, I think, didn't you?
Yes, I think you had 3.
Yes, I believe so. That sounds right.
4 and 4 is power.
And then I get 2 more for being trained, correct?
Correct. So it is 5 and 4. Sleight of hand.
He just
4
rolled
and
a
1.
cult twice.
All right, you can have specialties Specialties come in basically 3 ranks. The first rank giving you a bump of 1, a bump of 2, a bump of 3, etc.
Do you know what alter ego does at all?
Gives you an alternate form, I think. Let's see. Alter ego. Alter ego lets you transform into an entirely different alternate character. Create a second character as your alter ego. The new character automatically has 1 fewer power to account for this one. The GM may require certain abilities, notably origin and mental abilities, to remain the same, but that does not have to be the case. If your hero simply has ordinary human identity with no powers, this is a challenge. Occasional trouble, rather than an instance of this power.
And I believe trained allows me to take away a power to get 2 other specialties.
Yes.
So could I take away alter ego to get 2 extra specialties?
Yes, you can.
God.
Somebody's building a skill monkey.
Hey,
Cool.
we need it.
Every party needs 1 rogue.
Mhm.
All right, I'm taking away alter ego and getting 2 more specialties.
5 and 4, sleight of hand.
Another sleight of hand.
2 and 1, investigate.
All right.
It does.
Okay, Scott.
So we got Master Investigator here.
I got 2 sleight of hand. I got 2 of everything.
Except power, actually.
Oh, I got
You
power
tried.
too. Cool.
Sorry, I was helping keep track for you.
Thank you.
Sheesh.
All right.
All right. Oh, and now we are down to Deca. And I completely lost track. I forget how many Deca had.
I have a chart. I have 3.
3.
Athlete.
Let's see. 1,
reading it right?
Art.
1 and 2.
Art.
The art.
Woo. Art. Okay.
Make pretty paintings.
2 and 4.
Leadership.
2
Leader.
and 4. Leadership, which allows you to share determination points with other people, I think.
Nice.
1 and 4.
That's athletics.
So he can make a painting while running a track marathon while also getting determination points.
I can tell other people how to do it too.
True.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And I assume on the sheet you all see where the specialties are listed. You add those like you add powers. It also has a rank. For those of you that got the multiple power or multiple specialty, it has the same sort of rank thing to the side that the powers had. All right. Phase 5 is description. After determining your hero's abilities and coming up with a description of your hero, of what your hero is like.
Oh.
Now, you've still got the option of swapping your stats. If any of you want to drop a power to take an extra, now's when you do it. If anybody else wanted to drop a power and take more specialties, we can go back and get those.
I need to read through my powers just to make sure. I think I want to burn stretching to put it into phasing because I like that total life support where I have no need for physical needs while phasing. Because everything else is mental here except for stretching. So. And it'd be funny if
It does seem kind of weird.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to fit with this character, so that's why I'm going to probably burn stretching.
Okay.
And use it as an extra for phasing for that total. So this is going to go burn.
Oh, that's right. I mentioned the taking another power as an extra, but yeah, some powers have a list of extras that you can add to them, make them work differently or add a feature to them.
Yep.
As well as
It's also my lowest. So, well, one of my.
You also
lowest.
have on page 82 of the book, you've got a list of kind of standard extras. Like you could add burst to an attack, or if you had some kind of movement power, you could add passengers where you could carry other people with you.
Hmm.
You know, alter ranges, that sort of thing.
Actually, it's kind of an interesting thing. I mean, I could put it into force field and affect others. Ooh, so many choices.
There are quite a few.
Well, it looks like mostly my character is going to be utility / support. So, because I have telepathy, so I can read minds, talk to people. I can phase, which allows me to go through stuff, even force fields in a contest. I even have force field to protect people, so or myself.
Mm-hmm. So, Maddie, do you have any ideals on your character?
Not yet. Because I still have the option to take another power or increase my attribute.
Let's see.
And I haven't determined which one I want to do yet.
Let's see, birthright. No, with birthright, it's a +2 to one of your powers, not one of the not one of your attributes.
Yeah, I still have a choice of either taking an additional power or.
Yes. You had said attribute, so I want to make sure you knew it wasn't your baseline stat, but that was your power. Okay.
Yeah.
V, what are you thinking about for yours?
If you're talking, you may have muted yourself.
You're the most correct I've ever heard that in my entire life.
Wow.
I do that a lot. Don't mind me.
Typically, if you ask V a question and don't hear something for 30 seconds, they've muted their microphone and forgotten they've muted their microphone.
See, I'm trying to get myself in the habit of when that happens, I just start nodding like I'm hearing. See how long she is.
Yep. We're all like, yeah, keep going.
Mhm.
It's good.
Yeah, that's good. It's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're gonna move on now.
Oh, you've meant about that? Nice.
Don't at me.
You make it really easy too, though.
I'm sorry. Oh God, no, I have no idea yet. Huh.
You have an interesting combination of abilities there.
I do. I really
Fucking
do.
rolled Loki.
Oh, wow.
Doing my best.
Well, let's see.
I
Animal
wish I was
mimicry.
kidding. I wish I was kidding, but like, if you remember all the stats that V got, they fucking rolled Loki.
Oh, I don't know. Come on now,
Ish.
where is the
Leaping
animal
doesn't
mimicry?
help.
Minus the fact that our origin is birthright and not unearthly. Like,
¿Por qué no los dos?
All right, animal mimicry.
I gotta read some of these powers to make sure.
so I got a
What I
question.
Mhm.
Can I roll for a power, and if I don't like it, can I take the stat increase instead?
No, you got to pick which one you're
I
taking.
gotta pick one. Okay.
Now if you didn't like the power you rolled, you could sack it for an extra on something else.
Okay. Fuck it.
Okay.
What else can what could honestly go wrong at this point?
Oh boy.
All right.
It's like she's
Asking
asking.
for the worst.
I am. I know.
All right, now where did my cursor go? There we go.
I'll take it.
All right, so what power did you wind up with?
Healing.
Not unuseful.
Nope. And then the power that it is at. It's not a bad level either.
pretty good, actually.
Now, do we rank specialties the same way that we rank our powers, or?
There's only 3 levels of them, but they do rank, yes.
Okay.
I mean, excuse me, I may have misunderstood what you meant. If you like, your aerial combat is at the baseline +1.
Okay.
The guys that rolled the same specialty
It would be a
twice
+2.
would have it at 2.
Gotcha.
And then it maxes out. It maxes out at 3, but I don't think anybody got 3 of the same one.
All right, we can work with this. So I got telekinesis, aura strike, and healing, along with aerial combat.
Sounds like you made Scarlet Witch.
A lot of telekinetics can fly, but just you'd have to power stunt to do it.
So I was looking at the power about telekinesis.
Mm-hmm.
And it says anything I can see. Does that include myself?
Flight is its
Can you see
own
yourself?
power.
Flight
You
is
would
its own
have
thing.
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then why the fuck do I have aerial combat? That seems really fucking useless.
Well, you can just toss you in the air. Like,
Well,
here you go. Whoop.
maybe you come from a family of telekinetics, and all the rest of them can fly, so they taught you the basics. But you just haven't learned how to do it yet.
But I'm stuck on the ground like a fucking pleb.
Hey,
Doing
I
great,
gave
Steve.
y'all the option to pick your specialties. This is why.
You're right.
Now, question for
Rolling's fun. Come on.
Rolling
This is
is
true.
fun.
That is true.
you. Question for you. You mentioned flight as a stunt. How would that work?
All right. You can power stunt by. It costs you a determination point to do it. And let me see if I can find where stunt. Oh, that's right. There's no index on this thing. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's a roll for it, or if you just have to spend the point to do it. But basically, if you're stunting, you'd pick another power. You'd have to have a decent explanation for how you're doing this with whatever power you're stunting off of. You can only stun off of powers, specialties at rank 3. So if you built, Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, if he had his hand-to-hand combat at 3, then you could do weird power stunts with it. Kind of like he does in the comic. Extras as stunts. Let's see. In addition to adding extras during hero creation and improvement, you can temporarily use an extra as a stunt. This makes all of the standard extras listed in the following section into potential stunts. See stunts in the basics for details. So they cover stunts up here at the very beginning.
If nobody else has their origin, yeah, I have mine. Mine's basically my fate character.
I actually figured out I'm probably going to use. I'm going to burn stretching to give burst to force field. So, say we get a big boom on us. It's like, oh, they went around me.
So you can shield everybody kind of in an area.
Yeah, that's near me. Burst, your power can affect anyone within a close distance simultaneously. Roll one test for the power. Different opposing abilities of the targets provide different difficulties and outcomes.
All right, so stunts. Stunts are unusual applications of a character's abilities, using them to do things they don't normally do, but that fit in with the overall nature of the ability. You can stun off attributes as long as they are 7 or greater, because that's kind of where they consider the superhuman to start. Let's see. If you have a master specialty, and then you can stun off your powers, like I described. Basically, it lets you use an extra you don't have for that one. Let's see. Is it one round? Or is it for the scene? To perform a stunt, a character must have an advantage acquired through a maneuver or tactic or using determination. So you could potentially tap somebody else's attribute or somebody else's quality to do it. So if you needed to fly for one round, you could do it.
Also, I was thinking that she could trade one of her powers to make flight an extra on her telekinetic.
She could absolutely do that. If she wanted to drop the damaging aura she's got, she could do that.
I think I'm going to use my +2 to put it to force field.
Okay.
My transform. So I go up 2 more. Level 5. Yay.
So when we
Alright.
burn a power, we actually add 1 to one of the other powers?
You add an extra to that other power.
Okay. Extra. Where the
So,
heck?
like for me, I burnt stretching to give my force field burst, so anyone near me will also get a force field. I roll
Okay.
once against that challenge for all of you.
Okay.
So, say the enemy decided, hey, I'm going to throw mortars at you. Force field. Boom. See if we get damaged or
Yeah.
not.
Visually, it would be like you put a dome over that entire area.
Exactly.
Okay.
Visually.
Extra. Oh, now I see it. Okay.
So, are we still on descriptions?
Beg pardon?
Are
Yeah.
we still on descriptions?
Yes.
And who are we on?
Let's see. I'd ask Maddie. I'd ask V.
E.
I'm still working on mine. I've gotten a rough idea, but I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of...
If you've got something ready, go ahead.
Well, okay. So here's my pitch, and I just want to make sure that this is just a description of your backstory, just a short description. Is that right? Of what you are and who you are.
Yeah, basically. It doesn't have to be the full. You don't have to give us the full Uncle Ben story, but roughly, roughly.
My character was an archaeologist, and the dig was going broke, so he stole an artifact, which was a golden scarab, which buried itself in his chest, became his gimmick device, and now he has powers related to mummy wraps that shoot out of his skin.
Okay.
Mummy Spider-Man.
Scarab Man.
Scarab what?
Oh,
Scarab Man. Actually, I'm thinking of calling him the Scarab.
it is the biggest.
All right, Seb. Do you have anything yet?
I mean, with the crap I rolled, I just feel like I should be a detective. That can also grow really big and spin.
Well, you could say you
Try
got bit
doing-
by a Tasmanian devil.
A radioactive Tasmanian devil.
No, we got caught up in a radioactive tornado.
Yeah, someone dropped a little bomb, and you were nearby, and all of a sudden you got sucked up in it. Well, it was a tornado.
Slurp.
Dang, Sharknado.
Jesus Christ.
Sharknado, but for Tasmanian devils.
Oh yeah, you do have an odd combination there. Astral projection, spinning, and growth.
Right? Also, like, that's why I kind of got rid of Alter Ego, because it just...
You can spin in all dimensions at once.
But to say, can you like astral project yourself, like yourself spinning at somebody, even though like it's just a scare tactic?
It's like
I mean-
illusions magic.
Could you just imagine? Sorry.
Apparently, like, with growth, I grow quite large. I can just, like, be a giant fucking top.
Dreidel, dreidel,
Just a
dreidel.
big blade now.
That's Beyblade.
Let's see. Where's the benchmark? So let's see what rank 5 will give you.
Like as soon as I rolled spinning, that's like the Beyblade theme song popped into my head. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't think we need copyright strike playing that song.
No,
Every time you-
we do. We most certainly do not.
Yeah, definitely not.
Now, in my regular game, I had somebody that rolled astral projection, duplication, telekinesis, and extra body part, of which he chose carapace. But he described the carapace, since you can describe your powers kind of any way you want, he described the carapace as being mental energy, so you didn't actually see it. The telekinesis, he took a limitation where he could only use it for damaging. So basically, he had a TK blast. Let's see. The duplication means he pretended to be he pretended to be an entire team. All of his duplicates were in the same costume in different primary colors, so he was running around as a Super Sentai team.
Oh my god.
It was
That's great.
You know, the conclusion of season 1, he's in a little space shuttle thing. Missiles are being fired at him. He's literally got his duplicates diving out the back, crashing into the missiles to keep him away from the ship.
Jeez.
Because they just pop when they take damage. All right. That was Civ. Dicka, I think you said you had something already.
Oh, I'm already playing. I'm playing my fate character. I am Osnadurta. I am a metal golem. About 7 foot tall. I was created by some ne'er-do-wells who happen to have the ability to create sapient creatures.
Okay.
And eventually, I left them because they had me doing some weird stuff. Now I just wander the streets doing.
Alrighty. Let's take the sheets calculate the
Question.
stamina. Yes.
Can you use alteration ray on an ally?
It doesn't actually do harm, it just changes.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me we're gonna have another druid incident again.
Give me a giant sword, man.
Alright, Alteration Ray.
I'm asking because if that's the case, then I could get hit with the transformation ray, which would give me wings and the ability to fly, which then renders aerial combat useful.
Alteration ray doesn't.
Transformation.
Oh, I don't have that. Never mind, that's you.
No, that's you. You have alteration ray.
Yeah, I have alteration ray.
Yes, you hit me with it using transformation for alteration.
Oh, you have transformation.
No, oh my god.
Alteration ray is you choose a
Says-
density.
No, one of density, growth, invisibility, phasing, shrinking, or transformation.
Oh. You see,
Which-
I was reading that.
I know you were.
I don't have
But your
eyes.
they don't work so well sometimes.
What do your elf eyes see? I don't know.
0.
But this is like this would then work really well with what we're talking about, because if they're trained and working together. Also, yes, brothers.
Oh.
Alright. So let's see, some of y'all are still working on it.
Mhm.
I need an answer to the can we use this on an ally?
Oh, I don't see where you can't. A successful hit subjects the target to the effects of the chosen alteration power. You make a coordination versus coordination test, which if they're not resisting,
I can just choose to fail it.
yeah.
Honestly, you might even be able to, at that point, take it as a limitation, allies only, and up its power level, or make it hit multiple allies.
There you go, B.
All right, let's see what the transformation power does. So we know what the transformation rate will actually do.
Because that it doesn't have what it does like there.
All right, transformation lets you turn into other things, animals, objects, or people. Choose one of the following options: animals, humanoids, objects.
So technically, humanoid and giving me wings would be acceptable.
It's the humanoids, including voice and whatever clothing they are wearing. Your imitation is exact enough to fool tests like fingerprints, retinal scans, or even DNA. However, you do not gain your subject's abilities other than appearance.
Ah, okay.
So it's just a visual, not.
Objects are things like rocks, walls, cars. You retain your normal mental abilities, as well as your ability to speak, unless specific limits or challenges prevent you.
Animals could turn you into, say, a thunderbird. Basically turn you into a bird, but you get to use all your powers. Like a giant eagle or something. Would that include fantastical creatures?
It says animals.
It does say animals.
It says animals. It's animals,
Okay.
humanoids, or objects. And again, if changing into a humanoid with wings doesn't give you the flight power, changing into an animal with wings.
Would, but then it kind of defeats the purpose of being able to use my hands.
Yeah. On the other hand, you have a damaging aura, so you can still fly into people to damage them. All right. For those of you that more or less have your characters in mind, let's talk about qualities for a second. You will need to choose 3 qualities. Oh, find this in the basics. And that was where I was talking earlier about the, world's greatest detective, that sort of thing. And you use those to tap your determination points anytime one applies. For example, with World's Greatest Detective, whichever one of you had a couple ranks of detective, or investigate rather, you could tap that to give yourself a +2 to a check. You would spend a determination point, tap whichever quality it is you're using, potentially having to explain how that quality, affects. The +2 could go to it could be +2 to the roll, or it could be +2 to the effect. So in combat, like we'll use Batman as an example, master martial artist. He chooses to tap that, it gives him a +2. He could choose whether it was a +2 to hit, or if it was a +2 to the damage. Depending on whether you've been having trouble hurting them or trouble landing a blow. Let's see. As a GM, I can also you want your qualities to have, preferably to have, a negative and positive aspect. The way you regain determination in play is I give you trouble. Trouble could be things like Batman's got, say, billionaire playboy. I could tap that. Something business came up, can't get away from. It delays you for a round or 2. Get a determination point. Or okay, that's the only one I can really think of for billionaire playboy. But anyway. Let's see, where's a good one?
I have an example because I just put it on.
Okay.
Mine would be, since he was created by certain ne'er-do-wells, I put on history with the underworld. So a benefit to that would be like I know the inner workings of, say, the mafia. But a downside to that is I am now wanted by the said mafia.
Or people in law enforcement, have heard of you. You're not wanted
Yes.
for anything, but there's a connection there, so they might not trust you, or
Right.
Down to fight, you could always tap to help yourself in a fight.
And you can tap it to make me fight somebody.
Right. I could tap it to have you get into a fight easier.
Yeah.
Fine engineering could help you. How do you plan on using fine engineering, actually? You've got an intellect one.
Yeah. I'm not a fine engineer. I am fine engineering.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I can think of a few ways that would help.
Like I said, it's basically my fake character, so.
There it is. D9.
I think I have my qualities if you want to hear them.
Go right ahead.
Quality number 1, I'm an archaeologist turned thief. Quality number 2, embraced by the occult. And quality number 3, and I expect this one to give me a lot of trouble, distracted tinker of relics.
Which, in a positive manner, you could tap that one if you're trying to learn something about an object. Because it might be something you'd already looked at or already studied. But yes, it would also be very easy for me to tap that one to distract you with something.
I was thinking I could maybe put together minor magical talismans, but they may not always work as intended.
All right. And you'll notice the role builder at the bottom of your sheets. I just thought of this. If you've got certain combinations that you're rolling often, you can just put those in there where you pick the key attribute, which stat will roll. And then you got modifiers to the side where you could add in your specialties or anything else you had to give you a bump regularly. So like our Spider-Man knockoff, anytime he would attack, he had his roll built. So he just hit that button, and it would say Recluse uses flails wildly. And it would roll the dice and the plus as he had it set in. Or like he said in his danger sense to roll for anytime he had to dodge. Now let's see. The last I have neglected to fill out y'all's let's see. Where are the I'm gonna worry about team creation. Oh yes, determination and stamina. Let's do that right quick. The sheets should do your stamina automatically. Your stamina is your strength plus your willpower. Like I said, stamina is basically your hit points. Where determination, and this is another feature that's very much like fate. You start off with 6 determination, but you subtract 1 for each attribute above level 6. Every power and extra. If you put a limit on a power, you can counteract that, though. So, for example, who am I looking at right here? I am looking at V's character. You have no attributes over 6, so none of those count against you.
Cool.
You have
This goes to 6.
4 powers, and one of those powers has an extra on it.
Yes, I burnt leaping to add to absorption.
So that takes 5 from your 6. So you start with 1 determination point.
1?
Yes.
Oh, wait, starting?
Yeah, starting is just kind of.
Okay.
Well, you have
Is
one
it-
currently
is-
too. You would lower
Oh,
the
yeah,
current
that's true.
one that he's spending.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Starting is
Is
just where
this-
you default back to at the beginning of each session.
Is this 6 and over, or is it 7 to 10?
6 and over.
Anything over 6 counts. So 7 to 10 would
Gotcha.
count as a power.
Okay, so I do have
So
5. So I have 1.
as of right now, let's see. Seb's character would have a willpower of 7, so that counts as a power. And then 3 actual powers. So yeah, Seb would be starting with 2. Deca's starting with 1. Let's see. The Mighty Ray has got 1 attribute that would count against him.
Does my origin power count against this for determination 2?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I'm at 1.
And then swinging, super senses, energy drain. But then you've got a limit on one of them, but an extra on another one, so that kind of cancels out.
I actually limited 2 of them to make them
Yes, I
exclusive.
see.
I literally just wrote that in. I'm like, oh, I can do that. And
All right, what does the limit exclusive do?
you can't use it at the same time you use any other power. So basically, the visualization I imagined for him using his super senses is the wraps would go over his eyes, and he would then be able to sense infrared. Which I think I'm going to change that to magic, like detect magic, if that's an option.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. And or the wraps, he can shoot them out for swinging. He can't do both at the same time, and he can't use either with energy drain at the same time. He has to use literally just one thing at a time.
Since it's all coming from the same device or same
Exactly.
gimmick.
Yep.
All right, that makes perfect sense. But you put rangeless on the energy drain?
Correct. So I can use it at any range as long as I know where my opponent is to make it more of a curse.
Okay. So that's all right. So that's 1 stat 2. That's really high. Swinging, super senses, energy drain, rangeless, then exclusive. Okay, I think you'd be starting with 3 then. Let's see. Seb.
I'm pretty sure
I think I already
it's 2,
said it.
since I used the limitation on swinging to up the swinging score because the swinging score was pathetic. The swinging score was previously 2. So if I'm understanding limitations correctly, it either gives me the determination point back or I can raise the score, but not both.
Oh, you're right. I had forgotten that. I had forgotten that part of limits. Yeah, you're right then. You're right. All right. Is there anybody's character I have not looked at for determination yet?
That'd be me, Daniel.
You also haven't done V and I. Or no, you've done V, you haven't done mine.
All right. Okay, there's Maddie's. All right, you have no stat over 6, and you have 4 powers. So 4 from 6 would leave you at 2. And then pull. The arrow 11 crap is that. Get off the screen. There we go. Having trouble getting. That's right, because I was having trouble getting Daniel's sheet to open earlier.
Always a troublemaker.
Yeah, or I
haven't
minimized it weird one time or something. I don't know.
You haven't looked at mine, but I'm assuming I did it right.
Oh, I had glanced at yours. Yeah, I didn't say anything because it looked right. Because it gets down to a minimum of 1, so.
Yeah.
All right. So, Daniel, let's see. No stat over 7, or no stat over 6, rather. 3 powers, 1 extra. So you should be going with a 2 starting determination.
You did it for me.
Which those are, 1s and 2s is pretty common for a starting character.
Mm-hmm.
Now, while some of them are still trying to think up, character concepts to fit this mishmash of stuff they've rolled up, let me briefly talk about what kind of campaign y'all want to run. I have 3 options. Story 1, you would all be college age, starting at a college. As there's a new superpowered threat emerges, basically a superpowered gang, but it's based off of a disgraced and disbanded fraternity.
Sky High?
No.
Oh no, no.
That was
I like
a decent movie, though.
Story 2, you'd be adventure. In an America where the world's premier super team had taken over. That's a setting a buddy of mine has been working on. So it's a little you would be working as basically unregistered supers. So the police would be against you. The police would be against you. The official super teams would be against you. So you'd have to be dodging the authorities while trying to solve, whatever issue has arisen. And story 3 is a little more Silver Age camp. Not full-on Batman 66 or anything like that. Not quite that much, but...
Pow! Thwack!
Right, not that.
Biff! Biff!
But more Silver Age Marvel. You're going to have some people with some campy names. There's going to be some goofiness to it, but not over the top.
Can I get you to check my sheet again and check to see the 2 limits that I put on the controls?
All right,
Please?
control. Limits control and concentration and cannot be used during combat to fight. Okay, that sounds like a decent limitation. Let's see. Can only heal half of someone's stamina. Oh, let me see. How does healing work? we have a character in the other game that's got it, and I know there's already some limitations built into healing as far as how much you can do.
So I can't overheal somebody's stamina. I can only bring it to the normal level. And I can restore up to twice my power level in stamina on any given subject in issue.
Okay. So the limitation is, instead of being able to top them out, you can only get them halfway.
Yeah. Which means, like, even if their halfway is less than my level of 5, I can only heal them to half, unless they're the twin. Because then the twin had, like, there's no limitations on healing the twin.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable limitation then.
Okay. Does that affect determination or no? Those two?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
So your determination go up by 2.
Okay.
Let's see, and your offensive aura is basically you can pop spines.
Yep. And then it'll be slashing or piercing with the spines depending on how I attack with strike. Those aren't limitations, those are just the descriptions of how it works.
Yeah, I got you.
Which also makes me real dangerous if I get thrown and tuck and roll.
Fastball special.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just yeet the ball of spines, it'll be fine.
I got this.
She is the hedgehog.
Rolling around.
Yes, V, yes you can.
I have animal mimicry. I can take the strength of an elephant and just bowl her down the street.
Yes, you could.
I hate how stupid that is. I love it so much.
How many qualities do we need? 3?
3.
Is
3,
it okay
okay.
if mine and V's qualities are exactly the same?
Okay.
Or
So
do we
Maddie
wanna
and I are
change the
going
third
with
one?
Maddie and I are going on the idea of these are twins that have lived and trained together since birth because of the birthright. One of the qualities we were talking about is like train together, so they work really well together, but sometimes working with others is just not up to par. Would that be one that could work?
You need to come up with some kind of snazzy name for it, but yes.
Yes. Okay.
The
Hashtag
ones
twinning.
are twins.
Hashtag twinning.
Yes,
I like
hashtag
that
twinning.
one.
I like it. I like that one a lot.
You don't actually put the hashtag. You actually type out hashtag twinning in your quality.
Yeah. And then the other one we were talking about was that they will do anything to protect their twin, even if it means somebody else is gonna die
Or gets hurt.
or gets hurt.
Not just die.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, apologies.
That's definitely something I could tap.
Okay.
Okay. So we're okay if those two are exactly the same?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
And we need a third one?
Yes, you'll need a third one, however.
Alright,
So we need-
let me put this in. Quality. Add. Hashtag twinning.
What if we just put T winning? No.
T winning, yes.
No, I
Hashtag
hate it.
T dash winning.
I don't like that.
Well, you could fill yours out the full way to show a difference in their personalities.
That's true.
So you're doing the qualities for your 2 characters there?
Yes.
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 Okay.
And then the other one is, I'm actually just going to copy paste this. We'll do anything to protect their twin, even if it means somebody will fall.
Still working on trying to figure out the qualities of my character. I kind of have a rough idea of what mine is.
Mm-hmm.
So bear with me. This is very rough.
No,
By the way, I like your shirt, by the way. Anyway, yeah, yours.
It's,
When you stretched up.
It's a little bubble tea mermaid.
Cute.
Friend of mine makes them up here in Toronto. And I modeled the shirt at YetiCon last year, actually.
Oh, cool. So, anyway, my character, his name is Richard Powers. He was one of the unlucky soldiers to be part of an experimental technology test, phasing tech, which allowed their troops to phase through walls. So when they go into combat situations, instead of, when the enemy has cover, they can phase through it and grab them when they rephase. And, but they weren't able to figure out weapons yet, to phase weapons, but they were able to phase humans. So hand-to-hand combat was important. So that's why the wrestling background. So, of course, with any new technology, accidents happened. As soon as he went and tried the suit, it caused a malfunction, and he phased away for a while. When he came back, it altered him in ways that he wasn't sure what was affecting him at first. So when they took him to the VA, he started realizing his new powers when he could detect telepathy, when he could make shield bubbles around himself, or when he phased through his bed one time and landed somewhere where he landed in the basement. He's like, "Oh crap! How the hell did I just go through through the floor?" So yeah, he's learning his powers, and so when he decided that he was able to start controlling them, he decided maybe I should start using these for good. So he decided to call himself after the experimental project name Phantom.
Okay.
And so I'm still working on his qualities. Right now I have one of them, Jarhead.
Okay.
He was a soldier, so he would listen to military high ranks, so generals, captains, whoever, he would listen to them. So that would be a kind of a downside that, if they're like, "Oh, you can't do that, you can't do that," he will listen to them. He'll listen to them since they're his superior.
But
However,
if it comes to like basic tactics, you could tap it to your advantage.
yeah, basic advantage. But I was more like, he was more friendly with the military, so he would have friends within the military and such as,
Which means you could tap that for a social thing.
Yeah, and I could probably use. Like I said, I still have to figure out other things. I'm thinking probably like Hothead or something, because maybe, and I'll still figure it out. Also, I got cake. So if you're wondering why I kind of disappeared, because my dad's like, "Oh, you want cake? Yes, please." So I apologize if I'm eating cake.
I shoved McDonald's fries down my throat while we were going to stats. You're fine.
So
At some point, I would probably have to tap Jarhead and have you eat crayons.
You want me to put that as a thing?
Oh no!
Crayons are delicious.
Crayons are
It's
delicious.
just a running joke I know between some Marines I used to game with. Well, between him and the guy that was in the Air Force.
Well, I mean, in an emergency, you can use crayons as a light source for an hour. Because you can light them.
So the only thing I can think of for my guy for like qualities is that like he likes solving puzzles, hence why he's a detective. Because that's all I got for my my thing is like investigation occult and sleight of hand. That just seems right. And then like he can't let something go, as in like if he starts it, he has to figure out what it's like. My brain died.
No stone left unturned.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. I'm not good at this kind of stuff. Not gonna lie to you.
Oh, you're doing fine.
You're doing fine so far.
That's right. I got an
We
idea.
really need to give me a general rough idea tonight, and then you can,
Like,
you can fill in the details, through the coming week, and just if anything major changes, let me know in the Discord.
all right.
I'm trying to figure out this one idea that I have. I think that he's like averse to experimental things. Because, after getting phased away for a while, he probably is not interested in doing experiments anymore. So anything that is like an unknown technology or something, he might be adverse to it.
Won't be a guinea pig.
Exactly. He won't be first. So he's like, "Oh, you want me to go through this portal? You first. I ain't doing it."
But you're the one with a force shield.
And then you name the quality who won't get fooled again. Yeah.
Go with that or something. I don't know. So I'm trying to figure out. What would work with his story.
Speaking of story, shall we hear the other options we have?
Those were the three options you had.
I
Yeah.
don't remember what the other ones were. I only remember the first two.
Okay. Starting at a college, you're newly superpowered. You're starting at a college, and there's a super-powered gang recently made its debut. It was a fraternity, but it got disbanded a year or so ago, and some of the founders have popped up with powers and apparently able to pass those on to other members.
Ooh.
The second one was the America has been taken over by the world's premier super team. You would be playing basically unregistered supers, so you would be dealing with whatever threat there was, as well as having to avoid the police and whatever local super team is signed on with the new government. Third would be a little more Silver Age camp. Not full on Adam West Batman camp, nothing like that. A little more standard Silver Age. So you'll have some goofy stuff, there may be some things that, their names are puns. But the goofy isn't over the top, too over the top.
I'm voting for number 2 personally, where we have to dodge.
I'm also a fan of number. Me and Ray put our preference in the.
Yeah, I'd do mine.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Oh hey, I think we have a consensus.
Just
You're
Seb's
valid,
like,
Seb.
Seb's like, I don't like any of these other options, just the second one.
I like the second one the most.
You're valid, Seb.
You're valid. We love you.
You're valid as fuck.
All right, so
Sorry, we're still trying to work out a third quality, but we're trying to make them different but still connect.
All right, so we've got Ray likes 3, then 1, then 2. Deca likes 2, then 1, then 3. Maddie likes 1, 2, and 3. He likes 2, 3, and 1. Daniel's 2, 3, and 1. Seb is 2.
I'm impartial. Like I like 2, and then the other ones I like. It's like I'm okay with any. Just like 2's my favorite.
I like the idea of being implicitly becoming anti-heroes just by entering.
All right, let's see here. If I just take their primary choices, that's 1 for 3, 1 for 2, 1 for 1, another 1 for 2, another 1 for 2, and another 1 for 2. It looks like the 2s have it.
Yeah.
Because the people that didn't pick 2 for their first one pretty much had it as their second one, with the exception of Ray. So that will be adventuring in an America ruled by the 7 sovereigns. I will, in the coming week, post some background information on the world. In the Discord.
Hell yeah.
And luckily, my buddy that's writing that setting, I will be hanging out with tomorrow, so I can pick his brain.
I'll have to work on experimental aversion But basically, I have him that he'll refuse to get on experimental or use experimental devices, at least initially until it's proven. But as a bonus, as an advantage, he'll be aware if there might be trouble. Like he's more hyper aware of the fact that that's sparking. No. So he'll be a little. So if there is he'll be more aware of that. And then his third quality, I think this is just fitting because he's a wrestling kind of person. He's a local wrestling champion. He will want to protect his title. So if there's a tournament coming up, he'd be like, I gotta go. I gotta protect my title because I ain't gonna let nobody touch my belt.
That's secret identity stuff you got to keep up with. Yeah.
Yeah. So he still wants to keep his title. But as an advantage, he will, anytime he has to use wrestling or hand to hand, he'll have possibly like an advantage to it because he's a champion. I mean,
Yeah. It's something you can tap.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking for my character.
All right, that sounds pretty good.
All right.
I don't want any kind of experimental business unless it has been peer reviewed. I want to see the dissertation.
I want several expert opinions, including long-term experimental checks, because I'd rather not start glowing in the dark as well.
I want to see side effects. Possibly a taste test.
Moo. Makes me want to get out that list of what science tastes like.
You should have been here for the Traveler game.
Oh Jesus!
Our science officer like to lick things. What is this? I believe it's a bar of nanites.
I wish that we were kidding. We're not.
It was great.
It was
the Science Bros were great.
fantastic. I loved the Science Bros so much.
It's a shame he was a serial killer. Oh well.
But he wasn't.
In game.
Also, yes, can we clarify that was in game?
In game only.
Pelka's not a serial killer.
As far as we know.
Well, it was a game within a
True, he
game,
did
so
disappear.
it wasn't even the character he was playing. It's the character his character was playing.
True.
It's true.
What kind of?
It was great.
Jekka, it was a great game. Basically, we got to figure out. We kept looping every 45 minutes until we hit things that would extend the loop or break it. And
we were on a colony ship.
Yeah, we were deep space exploring on a colony ship, and a bunch of people were in cryostasis, and people were disappearing at a cryostasis, which is a problem because people shouldn't be disappearing at a cryostasis.
Yep.
Correct.
But we eventually got out of the time loop and started colonizing the world.
Yep.
No. We started exploring a world. We didn't colonize it until the captain decided that the first thing that they were going to tell an entity that was like, what is my primary objective, was conquer.
Take me to your leader.
God.
Conquer, ladies and gentlemen.
Conquer.
That's what it was conquer. First thing the captain told them, conquer. Meanwhile, my doctor's back at the main base trying to figure out what the fuck is going on and why everybody's being so aggressive. By herself. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. V, which one do you want to take? I really don't care which one. You're just gonna type it, you just don't even want to say it.
The game within a game thing, though, was by the end of it all, it turns out we were actually in a reality show that ran contestants through a VR simulation.
It was like an esport. We were competing against other groups.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds a lot like that Netflix show.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, what Netflix show? Hello?
I literally just got on Netflix to go check out the name of the show. Give me a second.
Check out the date the show came out. Maybe Captain Sue.
It was one where like they all started like in a little white room and they had to like puzzle their way out, and then they all had weird powers. But they lost all their memory, and at the end, it turned out that they chose those powers.
Umbrella Academy?
No, it was a cartoon.
Oh.
Hmm.
I'm not very good at Netflix shows, so I just threw one that I knew was.
Me neither.
I don't have Netflix.
All
I
right,
stole
so
my boyfriend's.
V and
We're
Maddie,
just
what have y'all
working-
got?
We're working out our last one.
Oh,
they,
still working on the third one.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They
Yes,
they
yes,
go
and then
together,
we're-
but we're just trying to figure out the wording that we want for it.
Hmm.
Wording is important with the quality. It's just
Yeah,
like
exactly.
High Concept and Fate.
Oh God.
What?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Is this
I'm trying
okay?
to. Yes. No, that's fine.
Everything's
Okay.
fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's good.
So the question now becomes: what do you want to call yours? Are you just gonna call it the lover, or are you gonna call it something else? Because it would follow if it matches what I've got, right? So you muted yourself again.
Fine.
No,
Fine.
you can leave it like that. That's fine.
No.
I'm just...
It's too
I
late.
think it's being difficult.
It was called The Hollow.
The Hollow.
Yeah.
Send us the link, because now I want to find out if we have that on Flixify.
I'm just gonna.
Okay, so
Oh, I've seen previews for this.
is it any good?
I
June
enjoyed
8th,
it.
2018 is when it came out, by the way.
Okay.
So, Captain Sue.
Yep.
I'm just waiting to see what V gives me for their third trait, and then we'll let you know
Stop
what it is.
pressuring me.
No! There's no pressure! Relax!
There's no pressure. Just hurry
There's
up.
no pressure.
Just hurry
Relax,
up.
Maddie says in the most stressed language.
All right, but Deckett's got his.
I'm not sure how to set qualities up in my sheet, by the way, exactly.
Press the add button.
Eight.
That is under the qualities, and that should give you a bar you can type in.
Okay. Yes. And then,
And then you just type in what the quality is.
Okay.
All right, I added all. I think I added everything for mine.
Where is your sheet?
Need to probably change the name of my sheet, but getting close.
Jarhead. Of course, I'm champ. Yep, looks like you got yours. Put that close. There we go. Let's see. All right, so let's get your character sheet named Phantom now.
Okay.
Deck had already fixed his.
Oh yeah. After I like what the you call it. After I got through what the like the fluff of it is compared to Fate, I was like, okay, I got.
Yeah, there's if you've played Fate much, you will catch on to this one real quick. You know, it's not a requirement at all, but as far as dealing with the qualities, yeah, it's pretty much a straight port over. Spelling that right out. All right, let's get the scarab properly labeled. Now, not to add more pressure to V, but have you any ideas for a character name?
I can see the panic in their expression right now.
I'm sorry. Now we're going with story 2. So do we have to go with superhero names, or does it? Can we use?
Yeah, I did both. I played a common name and a actual superhero name.
Well, if you want to keep the you want something to hide your real identity for sure, and you'll need something to be called.
Okay.
You always just go to superhero name generator.
Superhero name generator. Here we go.
Honestly, I'm lame and I was thinking the Wonder Twins. But that might just become really obvious.
That's a hard no.
Yep, I figured.
Oh god, I have no idea. I've got a character name, but not a superhero name.
How would you describe your hero? In one word.
That makes it 20 times harder.
I could just go with twin.
Twin 1 and twin 2. Haha.
There you
One
go.
and thing too. There you go.
That's the first thing that thought into my head when you said that.
Oh god.
Female, male.
Male.
They're both male.
Okay.
I haven't decided yet.
What do you think? Are we going with a Thor Loki kind of thing? Almost. I was kind of getting an idea.
One's the
No.
obvious brat. One is a.
Still think Maddie should be the hedgehog.
They finish each other's sandwiches, or they finish each other's sandwiches. Wow.
You got it right the first time.
No. I know, but I accidentally quoted Frozen, and I hate.
Maybe the spiny anteater.
No, drop something. Bin.
To say they finish each other's sentences, and it was cute at first, but now it's super annoying.
Sorry.
Legitimately, all I can think of is Detective Top because I investigate and I spin.
I mean,
Detective
you
Tom,
can't go
I
wrong
love
with that.
Hello.
That's actually
I
pretty
also
great.
love that.
It's either that or Detective Dreidel.
I'm going with Top. Thank you, though.
Yeah,
That
couldn't
implies
resist.
religious affiliation.
This is about on the spot name generating. I am the pickiest human being.
Well, what's the other's twin's name?
It's a good question. Maddie's on
Maddie,
the
what's
spot
your
now.
character's name?
The spiny anteater. The spiny anteater. Well, she didn't seem impressed with hedgehogs, so I'll try to find something else.
How about the Fantastic 2-0?
2-0?
I don't know.
I love that actually.
I heard the Fantastic Tool, and I was like, wow.
2-0.
Basically what we are.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of hard doing this creativity in such short span of time.
No, that's not. It's trying to find something that fits because we're trying to find something that their names sound okay separate, but sound even better together.
Yeah, I keep thinking, since you have aerial combat and the other has alteration, I keep thinking like you guys were part of a circus troupe or something. And like Robin, one of the Robins, remember?
Oh
Was
yeah,
part of the,
yeah.
and like one of your acts is like sword fighting while on those swings. Like you do a pirate show or something kind of thing for this. Like one of your tricks was like save the damsel, while pirate fighting while in the air.
It took me way too long to remember their like Dick's last name.
Excuse me, what?
Dick Grayson, Robin.
Oh, okay. You said I forgot the dick's name. I'm like, excuse me.
I said last name.
Okay, I'm
Forgot
sorry.
Dick's last name.
Okay, 'cause I only heard Dick's name. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't realize you named your dick.
Yes, that's something people do. Oh.
Sorry, my brain went to the gutter as soon as we went there.
Usually same.
Big same.
Come on, brain. Come on. For the qualities, do I describe it or do I?
You come up with a phrase that kind of encapsulates it.
Okay.
Some folks have kind of written out a more detailed something behind that, but
Clipeus.
Yeah, like I tried to describe what Jarhead would do for him. I mean, you could just say, "I'm selected by."
the trick is
something."
you come up with that phrase so it can be used. People can kind of. I can take my own. When I cause you trouble, I can kind of take my own. Come at it from my own direction, kind of thing.
So would puzzle solver be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Puzzle what?
What?
Puzzle solver.
Puzzle solver. I thought you said puddle something. I'm like, puddle sizzler? Puzzle what? It's like, why are you playing with puddles?
I apologize. I speak very quickly.
That's fine. I'm also hard of hearing, so this is going to be hilarious.
I get told to slow down by almost everyone.
Hey, that's fine. Just know that I do have tinnitus, so sometimes it comes up, and then when someone says something, it kind of is like, you said, what now? Leads to very interesting conversations, especially when you're talking to a doctor.
Oh boy.
I don't like doctors. They always say big words. You're like, excuse me, what?
I hate to say it, but you're talking to a doctor right now. Because I just got my degree in pharmacology.
Mazel tov.
One of my best friends has a PhD in like science, like rocket science, and he like dumbs everything down so much for us. And like, yeah, we're like, can you give us like a part of like this things you're actually like doing? And I'm like, yeah, cool. Just keep dumbing it down. Like, nope, we're good.
I have a material scientist friend who's getting his PhD here soon from Florida. I forget which school it is, but it's in Gainesville.
Don't know where my friend lives actually in the States, but he's living in France right now because it's closer to the neutron collider.
Oh, parlez-vous français?
Moi, je parle français, yeah.
Sorry, I only know FSL, a little bit of it. Just a little.
French Canadian.
Apologies.
So, yeah.
Apologies if you hear children in the background.
Oh,
They're
I'm used
children.
to it. I have to listen to the cap. Kind of used to it.
All right, V, what have you come up with for a name? I see you've typed something in.
Yes. His name is Zeke Venendi. He goes by Clipeus, which means shield in Latin. And his brother is...
We're
the
still
word
working out
sword
a
and weapon.
first name for me, but his superhero name is Gladio, which is sword. And they together
Thanks.
are the sword and shield.
So what was V's first name for not non-hero?
Zeke.
Zeke.
Yep.
So
Fair
we have
warning.
I got an idea. Since you went Zeke, how about the other becomes Adam? I mean, you're A and Z. Something with an A name.
It's
What
kind
about
of
Zeke and
interesting.
Sven?
Sven.
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 Yeah,
That'll be a mess in that household. Zeke and
yeah, it
Zen.
would.
Speaking Zen.
I grew up in a household where all of my siblings have J names. It was
Oh
a nightmare.
God.
Like the Kardashians.
Oh. Boy.
It was a nightmare.
Like you called
We-
me? No, I meant the other J name. You
Yeah.
meant me? No, the other J name.
So there's Joey, Jeremy, me, Jordan, and Joshua.
Oh God. I went to a school where there were 4 Daniels. So when I said if you need a little comedy, you could say Dry instead of Daniel, because at school, that was how the teachers sometimes called my name, because they had, this Daniel, that Daniel, me, and another Daniel. Mostly they either went with our last name or a nickname, and I gave them Dry because those are my initials.
Nice.
There was 2 other Sebastians in my classroom through most of school.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
My school only had 2, well, like Vanessas, but there was at
And
least
like
that.
in college right now,
Excuse me.
one of my classmates, her husband is called Sebastian, and then another one of my classmates, her boyfriend's called Sebastian, and they keep talking about their person, and I keep looking up like, what do you need? And they're like, not you. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh. Yes,
I
what
actually
do you
named
need?
one of my turkeys Sebastian. You would have liked him.
God damn it. I mean,
He was a Royal Palm turkey. You would have liked him. He was actually very friendly. You would pick him up and you'd be like, okay, where are we going?
like,
How did he taste?
Sadly, I won't know because a coyote ate him.
Aww,
I had a
that's
chicken
even
named
worse.
Petunia once. She got eaten by a fisher.
dude, I was scared of going outside as a kid because of fishers.
A fisher?
Fishers.
I lived,
when
like-
they cry, they sound like what is it, babies or baby lambs specifically?
They murdered a horse. Like, my next door neighbor had horses and it murdered one. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go outside. If it can murder a horse, it can murder me.
Jesus
Not
Christ.
gonna lie, I was picturing fishermen, so I was very confused for a second there.
Same.
Very confused.
Yes, a wild ravaged fisher came into my friend's barn to kill my specific chicken Petunia.
It was like it's like
jerk.
it's like a random
That dude's drinking. Holy cow!
it's like a random Skyrim NPC just goes into your house.
And like fishers cry like lambs.
Yeah, like
How drunk are they on your river? Like, what is wrong with fishers in that state?
is it's
I mean, I live in the Maritimes. A lot of fishermen are pretty wasted on the piers.
Yeah, true.
To be fair, it does still kind of work.
I lived in Ontario when this happened, though, so.
Are we missing anything else, Jason?
I am looking at y'all sheets now. It looks good so far. Let's see. Got your stamina. Got your determination. As far as background for the brothers here, what motivates Sword and Shield to run out and do what they do?
it's true.
That's really a question for all of you.
Yeah.
So what he's doing out there?
Okay, we have a third brother. He's secret. He likes to hide in closets, but his name is Gun.
Nice.
Give me the Pokemon gun.
Sorry, so sorry. That's all I could think of.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
You should be sorry. All right, so we're going with the sovereign setting.
Yeah, so I guess V, that's a really good question. What would motivate the twins to go out?
And do their daring do. Now they've been trained from birth.
Yeah.
Could be a family tradition. Could be that they're extremely opposed to the seven sovereigns taking over. Could be that they feel whatever neighborhood they're in doesn't get the attention that it needs, so they're going to go out and fix, kind of defend the neighborhood and try to keep their heads down.
Oh. V,
Hmm.
what if we were supposed to take over? And when the sovereigns came in and took over, it was a coup, and we're the only surviving members left of our family.
Dun dun dun.
Works for me.
So you were raised to be supervillains?
No, we were
To take over the family business.
take over the
of-
family business.
Oh.
I wouldn't say that they're super villains, because I don't think that's the way we want to go with it. But if the sovereign take over from, say, a monarchy, moving from
No, the sovereigns
monarchy-
overthrew the U.S. government.
They overthrew the U.S. government. Okay.
So
There was
Okay,
some sort of
our-
horrific event, at which point they basically decided, if the government's responsible for that, it's got to go.
all heroes go. So basically, just the family was attacked. Maybe they were well known, in a way.
Perhaps they were the ones that were helping protect the U.S. government from being overtaken by this group of heroes.
That would certainly be possible.
Does that work for you?
And they may be dead, or they may just be in prison.
True.
Now, I just need help understanding the sovereigns. Is this like Steelheart, where they took over and almost immediately became corrupted themselves?
Might do that Justice League episode where there was the Justice Lords episode.
Yeah, that's what
It's a little more in that scale.
The Justice Lords.
Where the Steelheart novel he's talking about, you've got supers in that world, but their power would literally corrupt them and drive them off the deep end. So you can't, at least up into as far into the series I read, you really can't have one that's a good guy, other than a couple of really odd exceptions. Where this is
The
more,
vast majority become corrupt as heck because they see themselves as superior to everyone else, and it's almost a foregone conclusion that corruption is inevitable. So are these guys, basically what I want to know is, in this setting, are these guys now the bad guys, or are they actually running things fairly?
that is up in the air and hotly debated amongst people living in this world.
Yeah, basically from what it sounds
Well,
like is that
I mean,
Things have not gone super smoothly in this transition. So there are areas that are
basically,
falling
I, the
hard times.
player, need to know, are people, going to concentration camps, or...
No, it's not quite that bad.
Okay.
But certain freedoms have been curtailed.
So where
Basically,
you
we're
used to be able to do super activity and not be judged for it. Now you can't unless you have a permit or you're working with a certain faction.
Basically, you sign on with the sovereigns or you retire. Heroes that were already established, that was basically the options they were given. Some obviously opposed. Some stood by the government.
I guess I'm trying to figure out, background-wise, why I would oppose them. So, what are they doing that's opposition worthy? What's going on in the world?
That's spoiler.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
mean,
no, I get you. I get you.
like, how do I make a character that cares whether or not to register if everything happening under registration seems fair? Like,
What if your
am
character?
I making a villain?
What if your character is registered, but he's like our guy on the inside, and like he's he doesn't judge us for not being registered because he knows that good needs to be done in the world, but like he himself is trying to do right by the government, and maybe throughout the story we find out that they're not, all that's cracked up to be, and then he has a change of heart somewhere down the line.
I mean, a possibility I see is that basically some catastrophic event happened. These guys came in to recorrect the issue. Say some weapon went off and then caused panic and chaos, so they took over, put the United States in martial law, and the government is basically a puppet government in the meantime, while they control day-to-day activities of the nation, and basically they would probably suppress, freedom of
Personal
assembly, keep you from criticizing the government, can't criticize these new guys.
That's exactly what I'm trying to dig into.
Yeah.
Are we under martial law?
Effectively, yes. The government has actually the old U.S. government has been disbanded. There are rumors of it still working underground. The way the sovereigns present it, they talk about the U.S. government like somebody in the Marvel universe would talk about Hydra. But you've still got cells of like CIA operatives that are out there working against them.
You've still got probably military bases that are still loyal to the old U.S. government, the old president or whoever is still in the chain of command, still running the United States government.
It's like you've got a little shadow government of whoever didn't get, of whatever senators and congressmen didn't get rounded up.
So we could be talking to
they're all
the
working
Speaker of the
underground.
House for all we know as our president.
And like I said, in the coming week, I'll post more information.
Okay.
Some of the details, some of the smaller details I'll have to get from, because like I said, this is a sitting my buddy's writing.
Okay.
Can
I think that helps me out.
V and I get back to you within the week about our background, because we're still trying to work this out, and
Okay, that's fine.
we want to give you something that's formulated better than something we're just gonna kind of half-ass.
Well, we've got everybody statted up. We picked which
Mechanically, we're good to go.
So. Yeah, mechanically we're good to go. We know which setting we're going with, so I can start working on the specifics of the story.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 8:40, so
It's a good time.
yeah, I don't really have anything else to do.
Cool.
I just have one last question before we end
Yes.
for the night. What's the time frame of this? Like, how long have they been established as the new power?
By the time y'all are coming on the scene, a year or two tops.
Okay. That's when my character's powers would manifest and such. All right.
In all likelihood, you'd have been one of the last, kind of tests like this the U.S. government did.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because he did phase out for a time and then was found. And then his superpowers would start manifesting themselves. So that's why I was thinking. Before he was part of this test, he phased for about 8 months, 10 months, reappeared, found VA, put in the VA, and then over those 2 months he accumulated to his power and started deciding there's some wrong crap going on in this world. I don't like it. But we'll see.
All right. Anybody else have any questions and/or?
Nope.
All right,
I think I'm good.
Cool. So, thank you for everybody who joined us in chat and were either just lurking or listening in and kind of soaking in what was transpiring. Thank you for joining us. We will be back next week with the very first episode of Icons, where everybody will get to meet everybody else's superheroes. With that in mind, we would, of course, like to thank our sponsors, D&D Beyond. That is D, the letter N, D, Beyond.com. They have all sorts of resources for D&D 5e. On top of that, we'd also like to thank Lucky Dice Cafe and Station Retro out in Huntsville, Alabama. If you're looking for a live show, head on over to those two locations to find out what the schedule is for Captain Sack, our very primary DM here at Dire Bear Adventuring Company. If you're looking for something to watch tomorrow, we have Curse of Strahd as the party continues on in their adventures in Barovia. They have hit the town of Vallaki. Things are going wrong. Nyx has been locked in a room that she promptly decided to destroy.
Respect from me.
As you do.
As you do.
It's not my room. I don't give a shit.
And, yes, so things have been going great for them in Barovia. Everything is awful. After that, we will have one last week where we do not have a Monday night stream. We will be back soon with our Monday night streams. Looking forward to that. Tuesday night, we have another episode of Esper Genesis with our DM Jason. Where are you guys in that, by the way?
I don't even know how to describe it without going into too much detail. They met some godlike beings a session or two ago.
As you do.
They pulled into a dimensional rift. They now have a name for both the race that seems to be chasing them and this ancient extinct race they've been researching. And the last session ended with them flying along, someone's coming up behind them in a ship, and a ship in front of them is slowing down. So they figure they're about to get jumped.
Sounds like a logical explanation. And then we'll be back, of course, on Wednesday with our very first episode of Icons. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank our DM Jason for running us through how to do the setup for Icons. I'm looking forward to playing Keelan Venati. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm very tired. It's very hot here. And we'd also like to thank V for joining us. V will be playing my twin. The power of twinning. We'd like to thank Ray for joining us, as always. And to our new members who are joining us now for Wednesday nights, as long as their schedule permits, we would like to thank Daniel, who has joined us on cam, as well as Jeremy and Seb, who have joined us in voice but have declined to join us on cam. So, without any more ado, I would like to bid you all a good night. Remember to be good to one another. And remember, roar for initiative.
Night.